All right, this puzzle, let's do a quick solve. I'll talk about the algorithms, the steps to solving it. It's a very simple puzzle to solve. It's not a lot of pieces, and so it's actually not even complicated as far as scrambling. So, but after that, maybe I'll do a couple more scrambles and a couple more solves just to, you know, go over some of the stuff that I'll talk about in the in this walkthrough. Okay, we'll just do a couple more turns. It's just so easy. All right, that's good enough. Okay, now, first step we're going to do is solve the, okay, there are 3 layers, 3 faces, okay, and turns are 180-degree turns, so they're full turns. There's no half turns, no quarter turns. It's just a full turn, okay? All right, so the way we'll solve it is we'll solve the middle, then we'll solve the edges, then we'll solve the corners. All right, now so let's get just like on a Rubik's Cube, the centers, they never move. So this will always be blue, this will always be red, this will always be green. All right, so just keep that in mind when you're trying to solve these edges. So that's what we're going to do first. We're going to solve the edges on the middle layer. So that, for example, that goes there, and then in order to fix it, then you would just turn it that way, right? But occasionally you get something like this, which is a flipped edge. Now, in order to flip this back, it's just a simple matter of cycling the piece around. See? And now that connects. And then we'll just do the same thing for the last pieces. So anytime you have a flipped piece like that, just rotate it around until it eventually, corrects itself. And then you eventually do the same thing with all of them, and then they'll eventually just all be in place like that. Okay, so now middle layer is solved. Okay, next step is to solve these edges, but first thing we're going to do is find out which side is yellow and which side, or which side is yellow, which side is white. Okay, so the way to figure that out is pretty simple. Just look at the corners. This one, for example, is in the right place, and then we can see that it's yellow. That means this top here is yellow, and this bottom here is white. And me personally, I like to solve the yellow first, and then finish it off with the white. So let's go ahead and use this as the next step in the solving. So this is already here, so we can always just bring it like that. There's another yellow, another yellow piece here, but actually is wrong. It needs to go over here, and then the yellow blue, which is down here, needs to go over here. So really simple. First thing we'll do is place this one here, this blue. So we'll turn this down, bring that over, turn it back up. Okay, this part is not complicated. It's kind of intuitive. Just cycle the piece in, and don't worry about the corners, because again, we'll do the corners last. So blue solved. Now we just have to bring the green one back over. So we'll bring this down, move this into place, bring it back up. All right, so that's solved. And by virtue of this puzzle being, in threes, when you solve these 3 corners, these 3 corners on the white side automatically solve as well. See? So that's a whole step that you don't have to worry about. Just solve one layer of the edges, and then the other layer automatically solves. Okay, now let's do the corners. So, all right. So the algorithm I'm going to do here is the same algorithm that you can use on like a cuboid, where it just basically swaps corners. So you put 2 corners, above each other, and the algorithm will swap the 2 corners around like that. It'll mess up the center. In the end, the center is going to be flipped like that. But as long as you bring in another set of corners and then do the algorithm again, the flipped face will flip back. You know, that's how puzzles work. If you do an algorithm that is basically, you just want to even out the moves. As long as you even out the moves, you know, the puzzle gets put back together. That's basically how it works. So all right, let's start with the corners. So first thing I want to do is decide. Actually, you know what? No, never mind. Okay, well, none of the corners on top here are solved. So let's figure out what goes here, since I'm holding it like this and this is right here. So what we're going to need is a blue, green, and yellow. All right, so the blue, green, and yellow is down here. So bring that over so that they're, you know, on top of each other. Now we're going to do the algorithm, okay? And the algorithm is going to be R, DI, R, D, R. Okay, now that was 5 moves, and you can see when I'm done, this is solved. That piece that was down here is now up here, and vice versa. The piece that was up here is now down here, but this has swapped around like that. Okay, so that was 5 moves. Now what we want to do is find this piece, which is also yellow, and then we'll rotate it so that we have where it's supposed to go. So this is supposed to go here, and then this will end up going down here, which is not going to solve, but that's fine. We're not worried about that. We just want to solve this part. So now that I've rotated the correct pieces into place, and this is still, you know, swapped, just do the algorithm again. R, DI, R, D, R. Okay, so that's solved, and then this has flipped back correctly. Okay, so now we've solved 2 corners, and what I like to do is once you solve the 2 corners, that third corner, flip it upside down so that this is now the face that you're solving, or the side that you're solving. Okay, so now this red, white, and blue has to go here. Okay, but here's the thing: if we do that, this piece will end up going here, which will actually solve it. But then these 2 need to be swapped, so we can't have that. So what I'm going to do is, instead of putting this here where it's supposed to go, I'm going to intentionally put it in the wrong spot. Therefore, I'm going to create a condition where I can still cycle the pieces around, okay? You'll see what I mean. So this will end up going here. All right, so, and then this will go down here. Now, let's go ahead and do the algorithm. DI, R, D, R. Okay, so that's not solved. Now, let's go ahead and put this where it's supposed to go, which is here, right? Yeah, and then this will end up going here. And then at that point, we'll have a 3 cycle where we can cycle 3 pieces and automatically get them solved. So R, that's solved. This is not solved. Okay, now we can do the 3 cycle. Okay, so green, white, and red will go here. Then this white piece will go down here. And then at the end we'll have to cycle it over here, and then this, which is yellow, will go down here. So that's the 3 cycle I was talking about. And it was made possible because I intentionally, you know, moved it out of the way so that I can get the right pieces in order. I don't know. You have to have been solving puzzles for a long time to understand what I just said. But suffice it to say that I had to do that. Otherwise, it would not have solved correctly. All right, let's go ahead and just do this. Okay, white goes here. Okay. All right. Now this white and red and blue can go here, and then this yellow, red, and blue will go down here, and then it'll solve. And it'll also fix this problem we have right here, see? And there we go. Very simple. It's simple in that, again, what I was saying before when I started, this is not a lot of scrambling, not a lot of pieces. So it's going to be easy to solve. And, you know, by the fact that it's in threes means you're never going to have parity. All right, so I'm going to solve it one more time. We'll go over the stuff that I talked about. Okay. All right, good enough. All right, we're going to solve the middle. And all these pieces are swapped. All these edge pieces are swapped. So again, in order to, or not swapped, flipped. In order to unflip them or flip them back, just simply rotate them around. So I'm going to flip this one here, so I'm going to rotate it around. Okay, and eventually it'll be correct, like that. And it just so happened that I noticed that these two were also flipped. So again, because it's in threes, by virtue of flipping this one, these two ended up getting flipped and automatically solved. So this is what I'm talking about when I said that this puzzle is really easy. Okay, so middle layer solved. Now we'll go ahead and do the edges on the top and bottom layer. Again, we're going to figure out first which side is which, and I've gone ahead and put a correct corner piece to match the middle. And this corner happens to be yellow, so now I know that this side is yellow, this side is white. So that means that this is already solved. So we need a green one here, and then we need a red one here. So they're down here. So red is down here. I'll go ahead and bring this down, move this over so that it's solved, and then bring it back up. Now that's solved. Now I need the green one, which is here. Same thing, turn it down, move it in place, turn it back up. That's solved, that's solved, that's solved. And then again, like I said, because it's in threes, this automatically solved, that automatically solved, and that automatically solved. And in fact, we're even more lucky because these two are actually already solved as well. So that means we're just down to one more corner. And remember when I said earlier, I like to go ahead and solve two corners and then flip it upside down to do the last corner. Since these two are already solved, now I'm ready to just do the last corner. Okay, so this is red and blue. That means it goes up here. Now, if I solve it like that, this green and blue will come down here and solve. I don't want that, because if these two pieces swap, these two still need to swap, plus everything else is gonna, plus this will be like that, so it's not gonna solve automatically. So the same as last time, I'm going to intentionally put this not here where it's supposed to go, but somewhere else. And then the wrong piece, this for example, will end up going down here. Once that is purposely done, then I can solve it correctly, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so these pieces have been swapped. That's been turned upside down. And even though they're not solved, and you know, it's intentional that way. So now I'm gonna do it the correct way. So let's see, green and blue. That will go here, okay? And then this will go down here. And this will still not be solved, but then now I can use this to flip it again into the correct area, which is gonna be over here. All right, so this, all right, so that's solved. This is turned back. Now I have a 3 cycle, the one that I wanted. 1, 2, 3 corners left. So this will end up going here. That will go here. I'll do it again, and then technically these two will swap, but they're going to be swapping like that, like this. All right. So right. Okay. Yeah. So that goes up here. Okay. That's solved. This is not solved anymore because it's been turned. Okay. But now that that's solved, I can just turn this over. These two will flip, and then this will flip along with it. And there we go. All right, so even though this has been a 15-minute video for a puzzle that takes a minute to solve, I just wanted to be thorough and just show you how easy it is and how quick it is. So there it is. Thanks for watching.